Ooh, ginger pineapple. Delicious. All right. What episode are we on right now? 47? Yeah. All right. So, I'm going to talk about episode 47 of Kamen Rider Geats. So when it comes to reviewing Kamen Rider, and when I've been talking about Kamen Rider, and I've been doing videos weekly since Saber was airing, like partway through it, because the first couple ones, it was like I wasn't really doing too much. I was focusing on Zenkaiser and Dino Fury and stuff like that. But since Saber, basically, I have been trying to, always find a positive way to talk about the current airing season. I don't want to be the content creator that just like thematically talks negatively about a bunch of stuff. Also, by the way, if the camera's jumping around and skipping, that's because if you didn't see my live stream on Saturday, which you should check out, my computer that I bought 3.5 weeks ago died already. And I already went over all that. I started the process of returning it, getting a refund. I'm building my own. I just ordered some parts. Um, Needless to say, I don't think I'll ever get a pre-built computer again. It's the first time I've ever done that, but that's besides the point. Uh, but yeah, like I was saying, I don't like to be negative about stuff. If I start to not like something, I just don't watch it and I don't talk about it. There's already enough negativity with toku stuff, especially toku Twitter and this and that, that like I'd rather highlight what's working and bring up things in a constructive manner, not just shitting on it. And contrary to what some comments I've gotten on my videos, I am not the number one Geats hater, or that I've hated on Geats this whole time. Go back and watch all the reviews. I've been very positive about the show. I've been enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it to an extent. Um, like I said, the show's not over. I cannot judge the show as a whole yet. But with this episode, there was glints of good moments, muddled by stuff that just felt thrown together. It's almost like this last arc, if it's an arc anyways, because like the stuff, it's like they're just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. And I will say, at least we got some more fighting, and the fighting was so good in this episode. I loved it. So the main gist and story for episode 47 was basically we already had Baroba with her wish to Sumari number two. So this time it was Kekera's turn. And basically his wish turned it so Keiwa was the only rider. And Kekera's kind of forcing Keiwa's hand to become a Kamen Rider and make those tough choices. And I was okay with that. I mean, it's funny, Michinaga turned into a stuffed bull. Punkjack turned into a pumpkin. And I was like, well, if the riders aren't riders anymore, like, why is Win a pumpkin? Like, why is he? Because, like, as far as I know, he's not a rider anymore. Like, the last time we saw him henshined at all was when he was taken over by Glare and then self-destructed to try and take out Geats. I do not count the summer movie. I've not seen the summer movie. And yes, that took place between, 45 and 46, or 44 and 45. I think 45 and 46. I don't count that because I haven't seen it. And also, I don't feel like films, I always treat those as like side stories, Because even if you haven't seen the movie, it does not affect the flow of the show right now. So, yeah, that's it. So, I was questioning why he turned, because it's been so long since he's been Punk Jack, He's Win now. Failed guitarist and musician. So, and very, very good private investigator, apparently. I also have some issues with other characters that have been here that disappeared, like Samas. Where'd she go? I don't know. So basically everyone's been and it's basically Kekera goading Keiwa, and this led to them finally fighting. Before that though, this whole Daichi redemption thing, like, I don't get it. Like, I get it from a story standpoint. I don't get it from the standpoint of why. Why do we have to give him a redemption arc? Like, Daichi's always been this sniveling, smart ass, like, antagonizing people, and I love that. I love a character like that, especially like a know-it-all type, But instead, he gets a redemption arc. And even he goes and tries to take on Kekera, which doesn't work, obviously. Um, I do like. I think out of all the supporters, I think Kekera I like the most because one, the actor's great, and I just kind of like this. Like, even though he's kind of a bad guy, there's something very like whimsical and not so serious about him. Like, and one of the things is the fighting was really good. We did get Keiwa and Kekera, premium Kekera this time. I was so glad he went with the premium form. I still, I get Baroba going regular Kamen Rider and not premium form, but this this was good. I like that suit. I like the green on it. I like it a lot. It's a nice suit. It's a nice form. But Keiwa and Kekera fighting was really good. I was questioning why he was using ninja at first. Because I'm just like the whole time, like, dude, you got Bujin sword. Like, why aren't you using your booty sword form? Like, why are you using ninja? Because, Kekera gave him the choice, like, are you going to save this family from all these, Jamato about to attack, or, you're gonna sacrifice him, He's basically making him he's forcing his hand to force him to be a Kamen Rider. And lo and behold, the plot twist was the Jamato weren't attacking the people because they were Daichi's special brand. Like, he made those. So he was like, oh yeah, they're mine. But you forgot that. I was like, okay, interesting. That caught me off guard. I give them credit. That I didn't predict that. But the fighting was really good. Eventually, Keiwa does use the Bujin sword. Without a sword, by the way. I was curious. I was like, why doesn't he have a sword? Where's the sword? You don't want to use your sword? I was I was questioning that decision, but he basically used the form just to hit a rider kick on him and defeat him. But unlike Baroba's send off when she was defeated, Kekera's felt more concise and just better of a fitting end between those two. Because he even acknowledges, he's like, when Keiwa says his whole spiel, he's like, you're starting to sound like a real Kamen Rider. And Kekero was like proud of him. And I think the best part, as he was defeated, when he was falling down before he evaporated or turned into his digital dust, he landed and fell down and slumped down into his frog statue pose. Now, the elephant in the room. Kekera's gone. Baroba's gone. It's now basically just Jito, which I'll get to in a second. There's no more supporters. Where the hell are the oranges? This has been unresolved for so long, for too long, mind you. I need my V cinema about the oranges. Because, honestly, if Kekero was eating those properly, he would have had the proper amount of vitamin C's and citric acid in his body. That could have turned the tide of the battle. I'm just saying. But I digress. I will not talk about oranges anymore as my phone gets a text message. Stuff has been out for delivery and finally shipped out, which I'll talk about in another video. Saw a lot of Gachard stuff coming in this week. So this whole entire time we got Ace, not turning into a statue fully, because Jeet is antagonizing him, being like, become the soulless god you're supposed to be, and Ace basically denounces it and breaks free of his bindings and his weird, like, chains that aren't chains. It's like barbed wire. And I was like, hey, that's in the opening video. That's the second time we've seen stuff from the OP showing up in the show. I was like, and it made me feel better because I hate when stuff is in the OP that looks cool, and I'm like, why isn't it in the show? I.e., Revice. We had freaking Icky in that suit, all evil, like fixing his tie, looking all like, and nothing. But he basically is, like, hey, as long as people are believing in what I want, because, they're going back and forth about the power of wishes. So Jeet is saying he has all these viewers that are behind him, but the whole entire time while Kekera and Keiwa are fighting, it's on the big jumbo screen on the side of the building, which, okay. I mean, nothing else has ever been televised post the public knowing besides warnings of the grand end or the big end or the tasty end. And people are cheering on Keiwa the whole time. So Ace is like, I have the, we have people who still believe in this, and that's gonna feel. So we have like two sides of like audiences that are like, hyping, backing them up. So when Ace breaks free, we get the first form for Jeet, and he has the premium Vision Driver, which, by the way, I wish it was just an attachment onto the Vision Driver. It looks like kind of like the Demon's Driver. They had the Demon's Driver, then they had the Deathstream Driver, which was like an attachment onto the Demon Driver, but it was like not the Demon Driver. It was a different, and it was but the same driver technically. And I was like, man, you're gonna hit me with another premium Bandai driver when I financially, mind you, I'm not like hurting, but like I'm spending too much. Like I'm not getting a refund for this computer until a while, so I'm going out of pie with this. Plus, I technically have the guitar driver that is being shipped to me right now, and I have some booster boxes for Phase Zero. So I'm like, man, don't. No, I'm not gonna get it. Honestly, I'm not. I changed my rules, and I'll be talking about that probably on Tokutonic Shift with Zio Agito and Deoxy 360 and Cloudy. I'll probably talk about my new changes to what I'm doing when it comes to buying merchandise. But that's the point. We got his form, which is coming under Regad, and that form, that maroon with the gold, it's so good. This is one of my favorite forms. And then we got Geats 9, and they're fighting. And my favorite part of this fight is the shout out to the suit actors. Oh, all hand to hand, basically. So good. Like, those suits, I can only imagine how uncomfortable it is to fight in those suits. I've done martial arts for a long time. There's that. Like, I couldn't imagine doing all that in a full actual suit with the helmet. Like, that's one, to get sweaty. All right. And chafing. All right. Chafing would probably be a problem. And two, damn. Like, I don't have that kind of mobility to do that. Like, but that was so good. I didn't think G was gonna get destroyed the same time he debuted, because when you think about this episode, we got two different forms debuted, because when he's defeated by Geats 9, Sewell shows up, and we find out this whole time Geats was basically a construct that he created. That was his right hand, so to speak. And then, because all the data from being destroyed goes back into Sewell's, and then he gets, one of my favorite forms of the whole entire fucking season. And I swear, because I need to emphasize how fucking good this form is, okay? The Regad Omega or whatever it's called, like, the viewers coming in, the viewer like eye lenses coming into the henshin, the suit with the eyes on it, and then the visor lifts up and there's an eye, and I'm like, chef's kiss. This was a suit, and I loved it so much that if that gets an SH figure, I'll freaking buy it. I can't wait for that to come out in a Soto. Like, really, I really can't, honestly. But now that's basically the next thing we're gonna get. That's the face off. Like, we have 2 episodes left after this. I'm hoping they stick the landing, because honestly, my only issue right now is why was like, him not being a rider and this and that, and then also just Daichi's redemption arc. Other than that, like, I'm enjoying these episodes. I don't have as much to critique from a episode what's presented standpoint, more as the overall story things not lining up. Other than that, the episode itself was great. I really enjoyed it. I'd give it like 3 out of 5 pickles, honestly. 100%, 3 out of 5 pickles. I don't have any pickles with me right now, honestly, because it's breakfast. I'm not eating pickles for breakfast. That's just weird. But I am looking forward to the next episode, because we saw Sumeri handing out, Sumeri 2, Dark Sumeri, handing out drivers to random people, and she's the exact opposite of regular Sumeri, where they're like, congratulations, that she's like, condolences, and, handing drivers out. So I'm like, and there's one more DGP, and I'm like, well, are they even DGPs anymore? Because we've had the Apocalypse game, the Bad End game, we've had something else. Yeah, I said, the Parasite game, but they're not really games. There's no scoreboard. There's no points. So now we have another DGP starting up, and I'm just like, how are they able to override the fact that Ace created this world. That's my thing right now. Like, they're kind of overriding his stuff, but it wasn't really explained. But other than that, I'm like, hey, 2 episodes left. They still have a chance to stick the landing. I'm curious what they're going to do, but I really enjoyed this episode to an extent. I like the fighting. I think this was a fitting end to Kekera and Keiwa's story. I think they stuck the landing with that. Definitely 100%. I do like the subtlety of like the Michinaga Sarah situation resolved, and we got so now it's like the next 2 episodes. I think they're literally hitting the gas pedal to the floor, and we're gonna get a lot of crazy shit for 2 episodes. I'm looking forward to it though. Also, if you haven't already, Night of the Living Buffa, the first item of wave number 2. I will be dropping that soon. On the live stream, I showed off the next design as well as on Twitter. I will be making an announcement of when that's going live. If you're a Fourth Wall member, you get to see everything early and get access to the merch early. So go over to onlyhenshins.com. Yes, that is a real site. That is a name. It's not a joke. And see the merch of what else is going to be coming out. That being said, I thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments below. I'm curious, now that we're 2 episodes away, what everyone thinks. Curious if a few people who have commented, still think I'm overly negative on the show, and I hate it. Because, like, honestly, if you can point where I've said I've hated this show, I would love for you to go through all my videos and tell me where I said I hated it. Because I have never said that. I've said I've hated characters, never said I hated the show. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.